Hey everybody, it's Wednesday evening. This is the hang up right here on the line, and I have to start with some sad news. Many of you know I'm a huge chess fan. I play chess all the time. I'm not good. I wouldn't pretend to be good. I'll play sometimes on my Twitch streams. Actually, I used to end almost every Twitch stream by playing. And I only ever play bullet, and I only ever played, two openings, and I don't ever really get any better. But it's fun, and I played it. I can play it on the toilet. I can play it during calls to the show if I need to, if it's something I've dealt with a million times. But 29-year-old Grandmaster Danya Naroditsky was found dead the other day, and there's been a lot of discussion about it. It was a surprise. I mean, he's 29. They haven't released details. There were people speculating about cause of death and things that might have contributed to it. I know he had been doing a live stream and some friends went over because he was rambling and incoherent is what some of the reports are saying. I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on that. What I can say is that as somebody who follows chess, Daniel is one of the best chess commentators in the world, and just fun and seemed like a great guy. Unfortunately, for the last couple of years of his life, he was, depending on how you care to view it, harassed, I would say, by the 50-year-old former world champion of chess, Vladimir Kramnik. Based on feedback from other super GMs, Kramnik has been on an unhinged, ridiculous parade of cheating accusations, including accusations against Hikaru Nakamura and Danya as well. And we can speculate about how and why that is, and whether this person's lost their mind or whether they're jealous that they're no longer relevant. There are talks of potential disciplinary action. I'm not sure what can be done or what should be done, but I fully support the entire chess community shunning Kramnik and relegating him into obscurity and never booking him for another thing for the rest of his life and not allowing him to or welcoming him to any events. Now, that would normally be enough of a topic to dig in a little bit on a hang up. Unfortunately, the world we live in, it's an early footnote, I suppose. But what we're going to talk about today is the government shutdown. I have here some stats that I can run through. Today marks the 22nd or 23rd day of the current government shutdown. Let's take a look at what we know about the past government shutdowns. So the first one was under Jimmy Carter in 1980. The Democrats controlled everything, and the government was shut down for one day. Probably some infighting amongst the Democrats. I didn't even dig in. But the next one lasted 4 days and was under Ronald Reagan. And Reagan was at the time up against a Democratic House and Senate. So you had the executive branch and the legislative branch in conflict, and it makes sense that you're going to occasionally get shutdowns and things like that where there's some disagreement. And so you had a mixed bag. And the government was shut down for 4 days. It cost us about $80 to $90 million. There was another shutdown in 84 under Reagan for a day, actually about 4 hours. And it didn't last as long. The Republicans controlled the Senate at that point, and the same thing happened in 1986. And so for that decade, the total number of days is that the government was shut down is 7 for an entire decade. And actually 2 of those days were just like half days. You left work early on Friday. It's probably not going to cost you much. The next shutdown was under George H.W. Bush. And that lasted 3 days, cost about $2.5 million. And once again, you had a president that was up against a House and Senate, both controlled by the opposition. And then you've got Clinton, who had two shutdowns, one of them for 6 days and another one for 21 days, about $400 million in cost. And Clinton was constantly, the entire time, up against an opposition Senate and House. And then under Barack Obama, the government was shut down for 16 days and cost us $2 billion estimated when we controlled the Senate, but not the House. As in the Democrats, even though I'm not a Democrat, but the side that I mostly align with. That totals 53 days between 1980 and Donald Trump taking office. The government had been shut down for a total of 53 days, and estimates about 2.6, 2.7, maybe $2.8 billion at most. Then look what happens once we get Donald Trump in office. There's a 3-day shutdown. We don't know how much it cost us. And the Republicans controlled everything. There was a 35-day shutdown that cost us $5 billion. And the Republicans controlled everything for the overwhelming majority of that. And now we are on day 22 of another shutdown. We have no idea how much this one's going to cost us, but it's going to be billions. And the Republicans control everything. I can't believe some of the things I wake up to in this world that are seemingly acceptable or normalized. Donald Trump has been president for 60 days of government shutdown and counting. He's been president for more days of government shutdown than every president in the history of the United States combined. He has cost us more with these shutdowns than every president in the history of the United States combined. And we're not even a year into his second term. This is also the only time that the government has been shut down when Republicans control House, Senate, and presidency. And while this shutdown is going on, he's ruining farmers. And he really, really loves Argentina. Not only did his tariffs cost us soybean sales to China, which Argentina got those sales, but he then gives $40 billion to Argentina to bail them out after previous bailouts as well. And now he's saying that he wants to be buying steaks from Argentina because he really likes Argentina's leadership. And he thinks that steaks should be cheaper because the price of beef has gone up, I think, a ridiculous percentage, 80% in some places since he took office. Pork prices are up 23%. Grocery prices are increasing. Electricity is 19 to 20% higher. Natural gas prices are up 25%. Auto prices have increased an average of $6,000 per vehicle. Gas is still over $2 everywhere, or at or over $2 everywhere. He's bankrupting America's farmer. This is America first for him. And while our farmers lose potentially everything, and he funnels money to Argentina, he's also building a privately funded 90,000 square foot ballroom, which it no longer matters what's legal or what the people want or what the people needed or what we asked for. He lies and he does whatever he wants to do. Trump lied and said the ballroom wouldn't impact the building structure, but there are pictures you can look at right now where there are machines tearing down the east wing of the White House. You see, we elected a billionaire idiot who is morally bankrupt and runs entirely on ego and lies. And we put him in a position of power for 4 years. The most powerful person on the planet. And he got to travel around and see how dictators and kings live. And I would imagine that as he traveled around everywhere he went, he would see these opulent palaces covered in gold with all sorts of wonderful things. It just made him feel like he was back in Trump Tower. And then he would come back home to the White House and go, really? This shithole? This plain building that contains history and where work is actually done? This recognition of the past and the history of the United States of America? He doesn't care about the past presidents. He doesn't care about the history of this country. He doesn't care about the people who struggled or what that building means or anything at all about it. He just knows, me in charge, other in charge people have nicer places. I need a nicer place. And so what's he doing? Why, he's gilding everything, ignoring the notion that this is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. And so is that house. It's not your house, motherfucker. It's our house. You don't get to redesign it so that you can look cool to your dictator kings and friends. As he travels around, he gets to see, oh, things look nicer than the White House. Yes, that was part of the point. That this is a participatory government system. But he needs to be the big shot. He needs to be gold-plated. And the relatively humble White House just isn't good enough for him. This is ego and an absolute desire to be king. And you don't build a project like this if you're planning on going anywhere. While there's a No More Kings rally taking place, which he flatly lied and said the attendance was poor, when there were 7 million people by the best estimates, and this was the largest protest against a sitting president in our history. Just a small thing. He just lies. And the idiots, the basket of deplorables, they go along with it. By the way, I was reminded today of the original quote from Hillary Clinton that she got so much shit over. I'd like to read it really quickly because I think she was too kind. She said, to just be grossly generalistic, you could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables, right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. And unfortunately, there are people like that, and he has lifted them up. But the other basket of people who feel that the government has let them down, that nobody cares for them, nobody worries about what happens to their lives and their futures, and they are just desperate for change. She basically divided Trump supporters into the basket of deplorables and the people who just feel disenfranchised and really want some change. Not only was Hillary Clinton 1,000,000% accurate in the kindest way, I don't think she went anywhere near far enough. I think the basket of deplorables supporting Trump is much bigger than half of his supporters. And they will go along with and do whatever he wants. I'm tired of watching videos of the dumbest people on the fucking planet, completely misinformed and ill-informed, proclaiming that Trump is he's God's appointed leader. He's the only one who can save us. He says what he means and he's working for us. No, he's working for Argentina because he's going to need a place to hide when his chickens come home to roost. If we ever get rid of him, and that's an if now, not a when, whoever takes over should take a note from Andrew Jackson's Big Block of Cheese and turn this 90,000 square foot gilded hand job to billionaires into a free clinic and food distribution center to the marginalized, disenfranchised, and abandoned people that Trump's policies ruined further. Oh yeah, and release the Epstein files, because you didn't distract me from a thing, you big gilded turd. So, welcome to the show tonight. Joining me, Monsieur Jovan Bradley. How are you tonight? Welcome.
Hey, I just put a chip in my mouth when I heard you finish it up, and I was like, "Oh, let me finish eating this chip."
Grab that chip
Hey,
home.
Matt. Hey, everybody. I'm doing good. I got me a bucket a bowl of cheese doodles, and I'm ready to go.
Well, we're doodling, and we're cheese doodling. We've already got calls lining up, and I'm always, as always, we're gonna take calls. We'll put theistic callers first, and but also people who disagree, and there are some folks who disagree. And while normally we spend the first 30 minutes here just kind of chatting. I just want to give you a couple minutes to say whatever's on your mind, whatever you've been hung up on this week, and we'll jump right into calls and see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, on my show today, we did a whole beginning where I was talking about the stuff that I had missed while I was sick for a week. And the biggest one that I keep going back to is Eric Trump saying that his dad thinks he's a good boy. And I can't get that out of my head. It's hard to get a 40-year-old man saying, my dad told me I'm a good boy, out of your head. It's strange,
Well, has Eric got a collar and a leash?
It's got a little bell on it, actually.
Yeah.
He rings it.
It's absolutely wild. I find it really strange. It is, Trump and I are definitely not in alignment on virtually anything. But what, a ballroom? I mean,
but the thing with the ballroom though is he's been trying to get this done since Obama was in office. He offered to pay for it. When Obama was in office, he said, "Hey, I will pay for this ballroom if you build it." And Obama said no. He said the same thing with Biden. He said, "I'll pay for it. I just want you to build it." Biden said no. I don't know why he didn't build it his first term. I guess he just didn't get the approval. But this is the thing for me is he's got the approval to build it. I just think it's a little gaudy. I don't think we need a ballroom on the White House.
Well, they rushed through some of the approvals, and it may or may not be legal, but the White House preservation societies, or some historical preservation societies, are asking for them to stop the demolition and get this reviewed again. Because, first of all, it's not your house. And it's not even really a house. Yes, I know there's a residence there. It is the seat of the executive branch. And every other... do you remember when Michelle Obama put a vegetable garden in there and got roasted by the press for kind of being disrespectful to the White House? Yeah, that tells you what white meant in White House right then, because this guy gets to mow down the vegetable garden, the first lady's offices, everything, in order to build a big place to have fancy events. There's nothing about this other than his view of let's make America great is wealth, but not wealth for America, wealth for him.
Well, it also makes me wonder how long he expects to be in the White House. Because one, how long do you think that the construction is going to take? And now, he's going to be like, well, I can't leave, guys. They just built the ballroom. I've got to plan at least 3 parties.
It is absolutely wild. Look, we got callers. I want to make sure we get to it. This is the Hang Up. This is my Wednesday night show here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I see a lot of people have already started clicking the like button. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There's more information you can find at patreon.com/calltheline and linemerch.com. We do a bunch of live call-in shows here on the line. This is one of them. I will always prioritize theist callers, even though I talk a little bit more about politics on the Wednesday night show. But I also prioritize people who call in with some sort of disagreement. And so we have that potentially right now. We can get started here with Eric is calling in from Ohio. Pronouns are him, says he doesn't agree with attacking people's religion. Hey, Eric, how are you? You're on with me and Jovan.
Hey, how's it going? I'm good. I'm real good. So principally, I agree with you. I tend to lead more atheist, agnostic, somewhere in that realm. But from a standpoint of trying to strip away people's religion, I find that to be morally deceitful. Because
Hang on one second. You're so okay. I'll just let you finish because I'm already at a loss.
Okay. So, and my reason for it is at the core of religion and at the core of religious folk, I believe the reason they believe that is hope, right? When we're talking ancient times and you had some sun god dragging a sun across the sky, they did that because they wanted to believe that things would be better tomorrow. So by attacking theism, you potentially are taking somebody's hope. And I don't feel that's right. And let's be honest, being an atheist, there's no door prize for taking somebody's religion.
Anything else you'd like to pronounce from on high before I school you like a 5-year-old?
Absolutely not. Go ahead.
Cool. So first of all, the purpose of the shows that I do isn't to strip away anybody's religion. And there's nothing morally deceitful about asking people to call in and defend their religion. And the fact that they continue to fail to do so is not my problem. Second of all, your narrative that you've told yourself to construct your own religious sacred ground in your high house there about how people just want hope and how that's how all this started, that's really cool. Maybe you should write a peer-reviewed academic article about the origins of religion. But in reality, if you're taking away false hope by having people recognize that they don't have good reason to believe something, not only have you not done something immoral or harmful, you have done something good. You are replacing lies and misinformation with the opportunity to seek out the truth and potentially find the truth. So you've misrepresented what it is that we're actually doing, because my goal is not to strip away people's religions. My goal is to hold people's ideas accountable. Do they have good reasons for that? And if somebody can actually demonstrate that there's good reason to believe their religion, I will also believe their religion. I don't know where you get morally deceitful from when all I'm doing is saying, hey, for thousands of years now, you guys have been making and telling these stories and convincing and duping people into believing them because of hope and because of other things, but it's not a true hope. And you take away people's wealth, you destroy people's lives, and you encourage them to vote in ways that are the exact opposite of their best interest and disenfranchise people across the board. Which of us has the moral high ground? The person who's saying, please prove that your bigotry-fueled religious nonsense is real, or the ones advocating for the bigotry-fueled religious nonsense?
So it's mainly a political sense that you try to make them prove. I mean, but let's be honest here. We know that they're not going to be able to prove their religion.
Oh, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Eric. I'm sorry, Eric. How do you know that? Do you know whether or not there's a God? Do you know what people can and can't prove? Or are you just saying, hey, they've consistently been unable to do it, so I'm going to infer that? Because that demonstrates you're not a skeptic.
Oh, no, 100%. Like, there is, at current evidence, where we sit right now today, I don't see any compelling evidence for a God. Now, that could change tomorrow. The holy whoever could come down and say, hey, Eric, hey, I'm God. But it hasn't happened. So I'm compelled to believe that there isn't one.
Okay, me too. But you just made an assertion that we know they will never be able to prove it. How do you know that, Eric?
Because I'm sure you and I both have had discussions over years and time and having to defend why we don't believe in whatever religion.
Eric, how do you know they will? Eric, you're not honestly addressing the question or even listening. You asserted that they will never be able to prove it. How do you know that?
I suppose I can't, because never's a absolute.
And called in to complain about me doing something that I'm not doing, and then you decided to argue dishonestly and hyperbolically. Do you have anything useful or productive, or did you just call in to say, oh, you're really worried that we're taking people's hope away because you think you're better than religion and don't need that anymore, and you don't want us to take that away from the little people? And my view is there are no little people. We're all capable of living our lives and doing good without relying on religion. And everyone can be free from lies and misinformation and help lead a productive life based on accurate information.
Do you believe that religion gives people hope?
I believe that religions sometimes offer people hope that may be false hope. Do you think that things other than religion can provide people with hope that is more rational and justified?
Absolutely. There's plenty of things
Cool.
to be hopeful for.
Then once
But I know a lot of the time in a religious
I'm still
community,
on the right side of history. So come on, lecture me some more. What do you got next, Eric?
but we both know that most of the
We
time
both know.
religious people.
Eric, I'm going to stop you right
use-
there. I'm going to stop you right there because you don't know me. You have misrepresented what I do. You have misrepresented every aspect of this. Please stop saying you and I both know when it's clear you don't have a fucking clue what I do or don't know. And nobody should believe what you think you know because it's unjustified. So don't say that again, but come on, lecture me some more.
Okay, I know that most religious people that I personally know, anecdotally, use religion as a crutch in hard times when
Eric,
things are bad.
Eric, if you're just going to be an insulting prick to religious people, I'm not going to let you keep speaking. Because first of all, your sample size is most religious people that you know, which is incredibly small. And then you're asserting that they use it as a crutch, which means you are psychoanalyzing them and projecting your own insecurities on them. This is, if you're going to call in and suggest that you don't agree with attacking people's religion, first of all, attacking people's religion is not what happens. Asking people to defend their religion is, but attacking religion would be attacking an idea, not the person. You're attacking the person. You're calling them small. You're saying they're relying on it as a crutch. You are making pronouncements of superiority over most religious people that you know. You're being a prick, and you're calling in to suggest that I'm the one being a prick.
I don't see how I'm being a prick.
I know you
really
don't, which makes you an even bigger prick because you're now in the depths of massive hypocrisy.
Look, who can I go by besides what I anecdotally know? There's no poll out there saying, hey, let's take a poll of religious folk and see if they use it for hope, if they use it for when times are hard. There's no poll out there.
How do you know? Once again, you are making pronouncements about what does and doesn't exist when I guarantee you haven't bothered to do the research into the many studies that have asked people about the sincerity of their beliefs or what they find valuable or anything else. And instead, you're just going to run off your anecdotal thing and smugly talk down to people. You're a prick. Just own it. Jovan wants in.
Fair enough. I don't think there's any surveys, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I've been wrong many times.
You've been wrong more this call.
Eric, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you think that there is an issue with religion and control?
I don't understand what you mean.
Do you think that religious groups tend to fight for control?
I don't know if they fight for control. I think every person, like if you're talking politically speaking, like every person votes their values. And when it comes to people who have a religion, a lot of times they vote their religion.
I feel like this is a cop-out. You haven't noticed, like, for instance, a rise in Christian nationalism and government officials decrying Christianity to, like, decide what they think should be placed morally upon the rest of the country?
Oh, I've noticed that hugely. My mom, for example, like my mom is down that pipeline.
So then I could care less if it gives people hope, if the thing that gives them hope is being used to subjugate and oppress larger groups of people.
Okay, and I take your point there. I see that as, look, everybody's going to vote based on what they believe. If you are a Muslim person, if you're a Jewish person, if you're a Christian person, if you're an atheist, if you're an agnostic, if you're whatever, you're going to vote based on what you believe. I don't know that saying,
what would an atheist be voting for? We don't believe in anything.
Because I'm sorry?
I'm just confused about that. What would an atheist be voting for? We don't have a belief. Like, I don't believe in anything. I'm going to vote. Whether or not the person is religious isn't going to change my vote. But I do think that, like, when it comes to religion, it's pretty clear that when states start moving more towards a religious state, those states that turn religious tend to violate people's human rights.
I agree with that. And look, I'm not in favor of theocracy. That's not what I'm advocating for.
But what I'm saying is, like, why would I then tiptoe around? Because I'm definitely probably more antagonistic to someone's beliefs than Matt is. Like, if somebody comes up on my show and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm Christian," I instantly am like, why do I want to die? Like, I get annoyed. But like, why shouldn't I not? If their belief system, right? If the people that are espousing their belief system are trying to subjugate, wouldn't it be better I like try to get them out of this belief system?
I mean, yeah, I guess to a degree. I just see it as, in a supposed free country, we should be able to vote the way we think and feel. Now, whether the way we think and feel
they're just making dumb decisions.
Rational,
I think we should be able to tell someone they're making a dumb decision, Eric. Don't you? Don't you think? Like,
I just need to jump in for 1 second, get back out. Eric, have Jovan or I, either one, ever suggested that people shouldn't be allowed to vote their conscience?
I haven't heard it. If you have,
yeah, I don't agree with how they vote, but I support their right to vote their conscience. So why would you suggest that? Why would you even bring that up? Like, well, I think people should be allowed to vote how they think. Yeah, me too. I just like to change the way they think. See, you think there's a problem with us trying to change the way they think because you look down on them and think that they need this as a crutch. And I look up to them and say, you have been duped and misled. You have made the same mistake that I made and countless other people have made, and you can be better. And instead of supporting a group that is going to, as Jovan was pointing out, continue marginalizing others, you can come join us in making the world a better place and still vote your conscience because your conscience has been improved.
Okay, so
or woke.
While you think they're silly or dumb or I don't know what it is, you said duped. And I think that they should be somewhat saved from the just somebody trying to rip their religion away. I don't see the big difference.
Okay. Well, when have I tried to rip somebody's religion away? Since you went right back to the point that I schooled you on at the beginning, at what point have I tried to rip someone's religion away?
Because forcing people to think too deeply.
No. I asked you a question. I asked you a question, and the question I asked you was, when have I tried to rip somebody's religion away?
I don't know that offhand.
Then why would you bring it up as if I've done it? Have I ever tried to rip somebody's religion away?
Have you ever actively made arguments?
I'm sorry. I asked you if I'd ever done that.
I don't know.
Then why would you suggest if you don't know, Eric? Eric, do you just keep calling into shows to suggest shit you don't know anything about and to make accusations that aren't backed up by anything at all?
I can't tell you the whole history of what you've said.
Well, yet do you have a single example that prompted your whininess?
I just don't like atheists attacking theists. I think it's
tough shit. Why? Nobody asked you.
Wait, even if hold on, let's just say we were. I do. I won't speak for that. I absolutely attack theists all the time. Right? I think Christianity is genuinely one of the dumbest stories ever told, and I think that people who are like staunchly Christians, more so people who are like heavily like super into Christianity, like think the Bible should be followed to a T. I think those people are genuinely stupid and probably mostly indoctrinated since childhood. Right? What's the issue with me calling them out on this stupid behavior? Who cares? Like, what is it? It doesn't hurt. Like, what are Christians now persecuted in this country because of it? No.
Okay, so
who cares?
I guess the best example I can give of that is, let's say, I believe in something politically that you don't agree with, right? let's say I believe in this gigantic military and you want to reduce the military to nothing. If you
Okay.
want to argue against that, that's one thing. That's a political belief. But a religious belief is much more sacred to a person than a political belief.
Sacred because they say it's sacred. So what? Whoopee. I don't care about the sacredness of somebody who's trying to make it so that gay people can't get married, bro.
What does sacred mean, and why does the fact that someone considers something sacred put it above comment?
Okay. The religious is protected. It's a protected speech. Whereas your politics are not protected speech. There's a
yes, they are. Yes, they absolutely are. You may be the dumbest motherfucker I've spoken to in ages, because the First Amendment doesn't just protect religion, it protects free speech, including my political opinions and the expression of them. How stupid, what the fuck are you, what kind of bizarre...
But also, it goes both ways. They have the freedom of speech to believe it and talk about it. I have the freedom of speech to call them dumb. Like, it goes, like, what is the issue? Like, I don't understand what the problem is. I think people that believe in Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, are kind of dumb. What's the issue with calling them out on that?
This is a poser trying to pretend like he's an atheist, calling to whine about atheists, and saying the dumbest shit, because the First Amendment absolutely protects my expression of my political opinions. And politics, by the way, is everything. Name a position.
Political outrage, from being imprisoned. Your First Amendment rights protect you from the government coming after you. It doesn't protect you from me saying something.
I know, and nobody ever said, you dumb motherfucker. You are literally the stupidest person I've engaged with in ages. You're complaining about things that nobody has said. None of us have said you don't have a right to disagree with us or complain. You're doing it right now, dumbass.
I think Christians can just as easily call us dumb for being atheists if they want to. They have a harder time proving the dumbness than we do. But, like, I don't believe some dude rose from the dead after 3 days, or could walk on water, or turn water into wine. They believe in magic, dude. They believe in Harry Potter. Why can't we say this is kind of silly and you're kind of dumb for believing that?
Did he hang up?
He hung up. Yeah, he hung up.
That's right, because I figured out that you were a fraud, you see. There's simply no... See, this is what some people don't get, is there are some things that are too crazy to be real. Like, I get it. We all wake up in a weird world where things that we didn't think were possible or didn't think were true are true all the time. But for somebody to call in and say, I'm an atheist, and I think it's wrong for atheists to try to steal people's religion away, and then after being shown that that's not actually what's happening, and agreeing about the impact of religion and about the value of truth and holding people responsible for their views, then goes to try to suggest that the First Amendment protects religious speech, but not other speech. That's not true.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Protect religious speech from criticism, you dumbass. It protects your political speech from the government arresting you. Yes, and it does the same thing for religion, but it doesn't protect your religion or your political speech from criticism. If you express an opinion, as I have, people are willing and able and protected and free to call it out. If you were serious, you were the dumbest motherfucker I've engaged with in a while. And if you weren't serious, you were so bad at this that within 5 seconds of you opening your mouth, I already knew how to school you while playing a game of chess and coming up with, thank you for the great clip and soliloquy on how we're not doing the thing that you're afraid that we're doing, and showing how little you know about the First Amendment or anything else.
He said the First Amendment doesn't protect political speech. What?
Yeah.
I just don't. I was willing to play along. I just really want to know, like, so what if we make, like, so what if I dog on Christians? So what if I dog on any religion? Like, what, they believe in a magic man in the sky. What?
Yeah.
But if I said I worship a giant plate of spaghetti, I would look like the fool.
Yeah. And so I used to believe those things too. I don't think my IQ went up. As a matter of fact, the evidence will show that it's gone down, because that's what happens as you get older in general. But colloquially speaking, I was stupider. Not that it was my fault, and not that it was anything that I couldn't get out of. Other people have and have done so. And as somebody else pointed out, which I said at the beginning, I'm not trying to take things. Have a call-in show where people call in to try to defend their religion. It's not my fault if they suck at it. And by the way, they suck at it whether they're the average caller, the below average caller, or the theologian that I wind up on stage with in front of thousands of people. They all suck at it. Go watch my debate with Dinesh D'Souza.
Huh.
Go watch my discussion with Jordan Peterson.
Well, that's so true. I've never gone after a Christian who has not come to me seeking out the debate. Yeah. Or posted like a TikTok calling out. Like, I've never gone out of my way to just go in. Like, it's not like I walk into churches and go, listen up, you dumb motherfuckers. Nobody does that. And
also, I don't book my own debates. The only, and it's people always seeking out the debates. And a lot of times it's churches. I've debated at Austin Baptist Church, and I've debated in front of a number of different churches and Christian organizations that seek me out so that they can show that their apologists can stand up next to the criticisms and challenges of skeptics. And they're wrong. And they are thoroughly embarrassed in most of the situations, not every time. And I don't even view debates as win-lose. But if you have yet to meet your burden of proof, the mere fact that there is a debate, that churches and religious organizations are seeking out non-believers to duel to try to further legitimize their views, is an admission that they have fucking failed. And that's why there's not a single Christian calling in right now. There's not a single Muslim calling in right now. You all know you have failed. You're not going to call this show. You're going to wait. And the problem is that there are people coming along who are way better at this than I ever was and know way more about this than I ever do. And the schooling that you get from me, I mean, that's going to be nothing compared to what some of these other folks are going to do to you. And you guys know it, which is why the Philo Bro Debate Club, including some guys that I thought I was friendly with and would have had a number of interactions, and we were actually talking about doing collabs, me and a Christian sitting down and having good discussions and talking it over. They don't do that anymore. Instead, they shit talk and they try to convert Muslims so that they can join together to battle Islam. And so they get like Apostate Prophet and whoever else, and they get them to convert to Christianity because, they're not bright enough to realize that there's no more evidence for one God than another. And now they get to team up to go against the low-hanging fruit of the pederast religion. And they think they've accomplished something. Congratulations. If all of you Christians turn all the Muslims Christian, you still haven't accomplished a thing.
But Matt, look at the universe. Everything was created by something.
Was it?
I don't know. That's what they tell me.
That's
what they try to bring to the table.
It's really wild. I've got to do a follow-up video because Cliff Buell, who I posted a video for, I had never heard of him, but I posted a video about him lying about me and saying I was defending Hitler. He posted an apology. I read it the other day, and I'll be doing a follow-up video on that. But there's other Cliffs that I've debated as well. Cliff Hinneckley and his son can be very nice guys right up until it becomes clear that they're in over their head. And then there are the stronger theologians, the people who went to Bible college or, got their doctorate from Patriot University or whatever, because it's not like there are university degrees that demonstrate the truth of any God proposition. And this is why, even though I'm going to take Eric as a fraudulent caller, this is why Eric is expressing ideas that other people have expressed as well, just not in this particular conglomeration. Everything Eric said, somebody else has said as a complaint about what we, new atheists, whatever you want to call us, end up doing. It's all been said before. And the problem is you can tell when they're faking it because they start mixing things that don't fit. There's no cohesive worldview that has, I'm an atheist. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I had a theist calling me today. We started on abortion, and then he was, his abortion argument was a one based around God, so it moves to that anyway. And I cut him off before he could finish somewhere. And I was just like, "You're doing a God of the gaps argument. This is what your argument is going to do. This is where it's going to go. Can we just get there instead of wasting 10 minutes talking about it?" He's like, "Damn, I can't believe you were able to know the argument that quickly." I'm like, "Because it's the most used argument. Like, can have something new." I've heard all. I can't think of an apologetic argument I haven't heard already. Give me something new.
If anything, Eric, if he's legit, no longer has any complaint about what I do to theists, considering what I just did to him. But since you mentioned abortion, we've got Riley calling in from Canada. Riley's okay with any or all pronouns. Welcome to the show, Riley. You wanted to talk about abortion and consent and morality.
Canada, my home and native land. Is that how it goes, Riley? I forgot.
Can you hear me? Am I on?
Yep, you're on.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear the beep. Sorry about that. I wouldn't know. I'm in Canada currently, but I wasn't raised here, so I don't know how the song goes.
Well, we'll forgive
okay.
you.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I've got questions and concerns regarding abortion. So I guess to start off, what is your general views on abortion? Because I am aware of some of the statistics and the development phases of the fetus. I wouldn't say to an extreme degree, but I'd say probably enough to be able to ask questions at the very least. So where are you guys at in this discussion?
What's our abortion belief? What's the grounding for our abortion belief?
Well, I was asking the general belief.
I don't care what people think about the morality of it. I only care about the legality of it. And I don't know what legal justification someone could possibly have, an individual or a government, for forcing someone to remain pregnant without their consent. And so on those grounds, I am absolutely in favor of a right to terminate a pregnancy.
Nice. Okay. All the way through the 9-month period?
I don't care if it's writing poetry. The termination of a pregnancy does not necessarily result in the death of a fetus or a person. It's at some point it becomes a delivery, but the termination of a pregnancy is always a decision for the pregnant person.
Okay, so
It's essentially Riley, an evictionist. It's evictionism essentially. Just if you want a really easy word for it, it's evictionism.
Okay, yeah. The view isn't necessarily on abortion or the termination of the fetus, but more or less that they no longer have to go through with being pregnant.
Yeah, this is the bodily autonomy issue here. We don't grant bodily autonomy to everyone all the time for everything, but the limits are ones that are usually tied to issues of consent. For example, the government can lock me up for violating our laws, and that is a condition of my citizenship, is the recognition that that can actually happen. But by and large, if an individual or a government tries to violate the bodily autonomy of another person, that does not fly. I don't know what grounds someone could possibly have to say, you're pregnant and we're going to force you to stay that way if they don't want to.
It's usually some sort of causal obligation, which I think is just lazy.
And that's the issue to do with consent, which I've heard quite a bit, actually. Because, if a woman no longer consents to being pregnant, they should be able to not do so. And by no means should a government interfere with that. And I think I understand that. the only issue that I take with it is in regards to whether or not a fetus can consent.
Consent to
Fetus
what?
can't.
I'm not entirely certain about the delivery bits that you were speaking of, because I haven't actually looked into that, and I kind of want to. So I will
A
go do
fetus
that.
consent to what?
Um,
A fetus can't consent
around
to anything. I don't know what you're talking about by fetus consent.
like when a I guess the underlying question to that would be if a fetus can consent in the first place.
I don't see that a fetus
No.
can consent, but it doesn't matter if it could consent. No fetus does. Does a 2-year-old have a right to force their mom to donate a kidney? No. Nobody has a right to impose their will over somebody else's body, and that includes a fetus. Why do people want to grant special rights to fetuses?
I would say though, in terms of the argument, never concede with someone. In my opinion, never concede with someone that a fetus has rights. I just think it's the minute you do, to me, you lose the plot of what rights actually are. Right, like
Well,
a
I
fetus would
agree
have no
they don't
use
have
for
rights.
rights.
I agree they don't have rights, but I'm saying even if you granted them rights, they wouldn't have the right to stay in somebody else's body without their consent.
Oh, yeah. Yep. He's right. Matt's right.
Yeah, I think I understand your point. I guess it was in my mind like a question of necessity, but I hadn't really considered that many abortions at a certain point become deliveries. So at that point, it's not a necessity, right? They could just be delivered, and it would terminate the pregnancy
How
There
about
are
the
and
24
not
week?
violate consent.
Yeah.
I guess I have to look into that now. At what point do abortions become deliveries?
24 weeks. At 24 weeks, the fetus is viable enough that if you want to take it out, you can just induce labor or we can retool hysterectomy abortions, which are essentially C-sections. We can just retool them as well.
I did. If you Google
Okay.
me, you may find this. I did a debate against an atheist who was a former Catholic. The optics of this debate were not particularly good for anybody because it was me arguing in favor of abortion and bodily autonomy, and an atheist former Catholic woman arguing against abortion, who argued it entirely from tried to argue it from a secular perspective, but it became very clear that the ideas behind it were rooted in souls and personhood and everything else. And I went through all the statistics. I talk about late term. I talked about fetal viability and all this stuff. And there was a former friend of mine in the audience who pointed out that he didn't care if the fetus was in there writing poetry and coming up with a cure to cancer. It doesn't have the right to stay in somebody's body without their consent. And Judith Jarvis Thompson came up with the violinist argument about consent, which is, let's imagine that we have this brilliant violinist who is in desperate need of blood filtration and a transplant that they can't get. And you happen to be the perfect match. And so in the night, somebody comes and kidnaps you, takes you there, performs the transplant, and hooks you up as a blood filtering machine to keep this other person alive. Do you have the right to disconnect yourself, even though it will kill the person you're connected to?
Not without the consent of the person who would die, right?
No, that's the dumbest thing.
Sorry.
You're saying that if we kidnap you and we hook you up to somebody, and then when you wake up, you're connected to them, and they tell you you're connected to this person, filtering their blood, and if you disconnect from them, they will die. You're saying that you should not have the right to disconnect?
I guess
I hope you're
a
living.
little lost. I'm sorry. I'm trying to envision what you're saying, but it's
Okay, Riley, you wake up tomorrow morning laying on a bed, and you're hooked up to blood pumping machines, and they're pumping my blood through you, and they tell you that you are keeping me alive. And I'm asking you, do you have the right to disconnect from me even though I will die?
I guess I do, because
Yes,
that's
you
my
do.
body,
You
right?
do, because this wasn't anything to do. You never consented to this. And by the way, even if you consented to this, you can withdraw consent. Consent to sex isn't consent to pregnancy. Consent to becoming pregnant isn't consent to remaining pregnant. None of those things follow. Just like consent to going on a date isn't consent to sex. You have to, consent is a continual process. And if you wake up and find that you've been kidnapped and are being used as a filter for somebody else, it is not your fault that disconnecting kills them, nor should your rights be violated, and you should not be forced to stay there. That's what you're doing, not you, but that's what somebody's doing when they force a pregnant person to maintain the parasitic leech within them.
A fun
Okay.
real world thing too is the UN has labeled the forced pregnancy akin to torture. Like they label it as a torturous act.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm understanding it. A lot of my worries were kind of quelled when you told me that deliveries happen at 24 weeks in.
What if they
Because
didn't?
that's about the point in. Pardon?
What if they didn't? What if every abortion, every pregnancy termination, right up to a second before it would have popped out on its own, results in the termination of the fetus? Does that change the consent? Does that change bodily autonomy?
It absolutely doesn't change bodily autonomy for
There you go.
the mother. It would give me some concerns as to whether or not the fetus would,
Exactly.
either experience the pain or would experience any sort of detrimental effect, like
Yep.
mentally speaking. But
Except
that's a
that.
personal worry, and I don't know about the validity of that.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you don't get to force someone to stay pregnant just because it's going to cause harm to somebody else. Just like you don't have to force somebody to stay hooked up to someone as their blood filtration machine just because it's going to harm them. So we've been down this. I mean, I had an argument with Dawkins, who's unimpressive on a number of subjects, but especially on this one as well, where he was arguing for fetal personhood at a certain point and granting it special rights and saying that, his line is at brain activity, and prior to brain activity it's okay, and after brain activity it's not. So even Dawkins, who's already terrible on transphobic crap, is opposed to abortion if there's brain activity. So he's willing to throw out someone's bodily autonomy in order to save the fetus, which is something that fundamentally, intuitively feels right to people because they're just going to view it as the next generation and a baby. But you cannot throw out somebody's rights like that.
That is
Anyway.
true.
It's all food for thought. I appreciate the call, Riley. If you come up with more questions, let us know.
Absolutely. I think a lot of my concerns were sort of addressed here. I've probably got to look into this a little bit more then. But I appreciate you guys. I come here to challenge my pre-existing thoughts, and you guys have done just that. Thank you.
Thanks,
Okay.
Riley.
Great.
Awesome. Well, after saying we weren't going to get any theist callers, I've been proven wrong again. And so
I also threw our audio up onto my stream too to try to goad some chuds.
Well, maybe that's where this is, because Jack is calling from Wales, pronouncing him. Jack is a theist that says, "May God bless you." And I didn't sneeze, but welcome, Jack. You're on with Jovan and me.
Well, hello, guys. May God bless you both.
This ain't real.
This isn't real, Jack. Say what you want to say, Jack.
May I ask you a question, Matthew?
Why did you want to ask me a question? Why don't you ask Jovan a question?
Racism.
Sorry. If Matt
The
got the
accent's
guts
really
to let me speak to you in a few minutes, Jovan, I'll happily talk to you.
huh?
If Matt has got the guts to talk to me, then I'll talk to him, and I'd love to have a tidy discussion with you.
I actually think this might be real. The more I'm listening to this,
You get to talk to both of us. I'm just saying, why did you address your question specifically to me? That's what I'm asking.
Because, Matt, we're all human beings, but I think you are a rude man.
Okay. Why should I care if you think I'm rude?
I don't care if you care that I care.
Okay.
But
If
I
you
wanted
did,
to say, Jovan,
Jack, you're a theist, right? You believe in a God, right? And you called in to say God bless is what it says here, but then you just wanted to say I'm rude.
absolutely.
Do you have anything to talk about with regard to God and God being real, or did you just call in to say that I'm rude?
No, you are rude. But I want to bring you to heaven with me and Jovan and everyone else.
oh please, hey Jack, can I ask you a question? I know you want to talk to Matt, but I just have a real question for you. Heaven is
Yes, sir.
terrifying. Why would I ever want to go to heaven? Heaven is the most terrifying place I've ever heard.
Oh, Jovan, please don't say that.
I'm saying it. Heaven is terrifying. Heaven makes me. Heaven is the scariest place in fiction.
Jovan, how can you say that when you were cool speakers? I
How
want
can I say
to
that?
go to heaven with you and your speakers.
Why would you want to go to heaven? Heaven's terrifying. You want to go to a place where your memory is going to be wiped?
Right. Can you answer me this? How many apples make a banana?
7.
No,
Yeah, 7 apples and
one
you
and a
get a
half.
banana. No, 7.
1.5 apples make a banana?
That's correct.
How do you know that?
Because they're in my country, the UK.
Huh?
What? You said 1.5
In my
apples
country,
make a banana, and I asked how you know
in
that,
my
and you said
country,
something about the UK. I'm trying to understand you here, Jack. How do you know that 1.5 apples make a banana?
because they're in the UK. You can buy them like a bunch of bananas, but they're made of apples. And in each banana is 1.5 apples.
What does this have to do with having your memory wiped in heaven?
No, I didn't say anything about that. You know, you wiped in heaven.
I did. I said what
I
you said that you
originally
want to
told
bring
them.
Matt into heaven with you, Jack. You said you want to bring Matt into heaven with you, but Matt doesn't want to have his memory erased. So why would he go to heaven?
No, I said I wanted to speak to Matt first, and then I wanted to speak to you, Jovan.
I'm sorry I chimed in. I'm sorry I didn't know my place. My apologies. But you said you wanted to
No.
go to heaven and
Sorry,
take Matt
sir.
with you. Matt does not want to have his memory erased. So why would Matt want to go to heaven with you?
Because does he know Kenneth Ham?
Sorry,
You're
come
breaking
again?
up a little bit. It's hard to hear you.
Has Matt ever heard of Ken Ham?
Have I ever heard of Ken Ham? Yes, we talked about him just the other day. He refused to engage with me, but yes, I've heard of Ken Ham.
You refused to engage with you? Oh, well, I don't realize that, Matt.
I apologize, Jack. Between the terrible audio and some subtle things about your accent, I'm not understanding what you said. So yes, I've heard of Ken Ham. What did you say after that?
Is it xenophobic how funny I
Can
find
you
this?
hear me now? Is this any better?
Sorry, what? One more time?
Can you hear me? Is this any better?
I
Little
don't
bit.
understand a fucking word you're saying right now.
I'll translate. He said, "Can you hear me? Is this better?" I'll be the middleman.
Did he say that?
Thank
Yep.
you, Johan. Yes,
Thank
I
you,
did.
Jovan. My name's Jovan.
Thank
Yes,
you, Johan.
yes, I did.
Yes, I know who Ken Ham is. What's the fucking point, Jack?
I want to bring you and Jovan to heaven.
Well, I don't want to go to heaven. I don't want to have my memories erased. Why would I
know-
want to go to a place that's going to erase my memories, Jack?
I know what bananas are. You're bananas, Jack.
I'm having I don't know what it is. This is my favorite call of all time. Jack, are you okay with God wiping your memories when you get to heaven? You're okay with him erasing all your memories?
Why do you think he wipes your memories?
He's going to have to. Like, that's just the rules of heaven. Do you have any memories, Jack, that when you look back on them, they make you a little bit sad? Or maybe a little bit angry or upset?
Okay.
Because I do, right?
And
I
you
have
want
memories
me
that
to
when I look back
question?
on them, I feel...
Right.
But hold on. But think about it, Jack. Think about it, Jack. There's no... Jack.
Jovan.
Jack, you gotta listen to Jovan. Jack, I'm gonna. Don't make me mute you. I haven't had to mute anybody yet. Listen to Jovan because this is a point that I've made that he's making even better. So just listen.
No, we won't.
Yeah. So Jack, you have memories that make you a little sad sometimes. There is no suffering or sadness or any of that in heaven. So
Revelations
God, in order for you to exist in heaven, you're going to have some of your memories erased because you can't get sad in heaven. So you're okay with God erasing your memories so that you won't get sad.
That's not true.
Okay, Jack. There's another alternative.
You know why I know it's not true?
Jack, listen. There's another alternative. If there's no sadness in heaven, and you and I have sad memories, then either God must remove those memories or he must fundamentally alter our personality so that we cannot experience sadness. Which one does God do?
Neither.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
God,
then how can there be no sadness in heaven if you're still you and you still have sad memories?
Right. Are you willing to listen to what I'm going to say?
I literally just asked you a question, Jack. I think it's incredibly rude of you to ask me if I'm willing to listen to what you have to say when I just asked you a question and gave you an opportunity to answer. If God doesn't wipe your memory or change your personality, how can it be the case that you exist in heaven with sad memories that don't make you sad?
Thank you, Mark. And I was just going to answer that question, Phil. If you
No, I don't believe you were, because I've now asked you twice, and the first time you asked me if I was ready and willing to listen to you, and now you're thanking me and giving a preamble. Just answer the damn question, Jack.
So funny. This is so funny. Why am I finding this so entertaining?
So, Jack, which one does God do, and what's the other option if he doesn't do those?
We'd all go into heaven.
This feels mean.
Imagine being on your deathbed, yeah?
Yep.
Okay,
and
okay.
Your loved one is coming to you.
Okay.
What's coming to me?
Jesus.
Why would
Your
Jesus be? Okay,
one.
I'm going to keep imagining. I'm on my deathbed and Jesus is coming to me. What else do I got to imagine?
No,
Jack?
your loved one is coming to you.
Oh, okay. My loved one's coming to me. Okay, I'm on my deathbed.
Right,
Go ahead.
Matt, Jovan.
Yeah.
Imagine you're 80, 90-year-old man. You're on your deathbed.
Yep.
Okay.
And, you're in delirium.
You're in delirium. Okay.
Yeah, you're in delirium. And it could be your mom, your dad, who's long
I'm 80 and 90 and my mom and... okay.
My mom and dad aren't going to be alive.
No. Your mom and dad are coming to you from the other side. They're coming from the other side to get you.
Yes.
And bring you to heaven.
Where does the Bible say
Where
that?
my memory is gonna get erased.
That is what deathbed visions tell you.
Oh no, I don't care about what you've heard from people. Are you a Christian, Jack?
Absolutely. May God
Cool.
bless you.
So where does the Bible say that my loved ones are going to come to get me from heaven?
It's nothing to do with the Bible. It's fact.
Oh, I'm sorry. What source other than the Bible do you have that we should listen to?
Matt, I'm legitimately have tears in my eyes.
You know, Jovan, you that absolute legend.
Okay.
You know,
Can you, Jack, real quick,
if I was
real
with
quick?
Joe
Can you
Fano,
say,
I can't
I
Jack
would
that
I'd
quick.
find
Jack.
the man.
Jack, I'm going to
Yes,
beg
sir.
you. Beg you. Can you
Go on.
just say the phrase, please, Dad, I want to dance in the ballet? I'm begging you.
I wouldn't say that because I lost my dad
Please.
when I was like 30.
Okay.
Well,
Swap
is he going
out.
to be coming for you? Is your dad going to be coming for you to take you to heaven?
No,
He's not. So why did you have me imagine my loved ones coming? Is your dad in hell?
Crazy.
no.
So your dad is in
I'm an
heaven?
atheist. This is a
Wait, you-
wind-up call.
Wait, your dad is in hell?
No,
Okay.
this is a wind-up call.
Okay, so you
This
are
is
just
okay.
putting us on.
No.
Cool. Thanks
And
for
can
wasting
you
all of our
please-
time,
I
Jake.
have to say,
Before we leave, just
I
say,
have to say that
just
because
tell
he
me
was
you want to
mocking me.
dance in the ballet, please. Just tell me you want to dance in the ballet.
I will tell you that if you tell me how many apples make a banana.
7. I already
You
answered
already
this.
told me 1.5. I asked you how you knew, and you said it had something to do with the UK.
No, Jovan just said it was
Dance in the
7.
ballet. Okay. Nice talking to you, Billy Elliot.
Say that again, sorry, sir.
Say goodbye, Jack.
Welshman said what?
Are you moist?
I don't understand you, Jack.
Are you moist?
Am I moist?
All the time.
Are you just picking words that you know are gonna poke at people because there's people who don't like the word moist? Where are you really
got
from?
the guts to debate me, Matthew Dillahunty?
What do you want me to debate you
You
on?
never reply.
He said, "Do you have the guts to
You never
debate?"
reply to my messages on Messenger.
I'm literally replying to you right now, Jack. What would you like to debate?
This is so funny.
Can I ask you a serious question? Would
No,
you live
no,
monthly to people?
Jack. You're asking if I'm willing to debate you, and I'm saying I'm talking to you right now, and I asked you what you wanted to debate.
And I want to ask you, would you?
No, no. You don't get to ask me anything. You wanted to debate me, Jack. What do you want to debate me on?
May God bless you.
And may your brain heal. Wow.
Oh my god, that I don't know why I found that so funny, Matt. That was the
I don't know.
Greatest call I've ever sat through.
I'm sitting here and I don't get it at all. Because it was
He
like
wanted
this
to
is
debate on "May God bless you." You didn't get that?
no. I'm
Oh
lost.
my god! I need
I'm
to.
so fucking lost.
I'm going back and streaming, clipping that immediately. Oh my god!
Arden, can you verify that I'm still here alive and sane and not delusional?
Is he calling back?
Everything seems operational, boss.
Okay,
There's
thank
no
you.
way. Is he calling back? There's no
All right.
way.
All right.
I need
So
several minutes.
we'll take another call for a second. Anne from here from Pennsylvania is an atheist calling about SNAP non-payment. How you doing?
Okay, how are you?
Low
Oh,
into the left.
exhausted.
Hard to follow that call.
Well, maybe God will bless you too, Anne.
Not likely, but
Did you want to debate something, or were you calling to tell me about SNAP benefits not getting paid?
well, that was what I was calling about. The concern over the SNAP benefits not being paid out now, and now they're put a hold on the low income heating program because of the government shutdown.
How do you pronounce the acronym?
And
LEHEAP? LEHEP? I don't know how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
LIHEAP. Okay, that makes way more sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they just put that on pause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
But also,
a welfare caseworker, so that's
I mean, they haven't stopped the SNAP benefits yet. And the rumor is that they're planning to reopen the government here within a week or so because they really can't push off things much longer. But my understanding right now, and I could be wrong, is that SNAP benefits are good at least for another 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks or maybe right after Halloween. I don't know.
That wasn't the information we got at my job. They said that they stopped issuing them as of, I believe, October 16th.
Okay. Maybe I got it wrong in that. I'm looking up now.
I know WIC is getting covered through the shutdown, but I didn't look into when SNAP was getting taken away.
Yeah, we found out like 2 days after that they weren't being issued.
So the USDA sent out a cautionary letter saying that SNAP has funding available for benefits and operations through the month of October. However, if the current lapse in appropriations continues, there will be insufficient funds to pay full November SNAP benefits for the 42 million Americans across the nation who use it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but whether they've stopped or whether they're potentially threatening to stop, it's another example. And it's one of those things where like the prices of groceries have gone up and it's a bigger problem than before. So the SNAP benefits aren't going to go as far as they would have anyway.
Right.
Groceries up. I think it's up to 24% now. It was up 22% last month. I didn't look at what this month was.
Arden and I are making a lot of homemade soup. I will tell you how I made the soup for the last 2 days after we get there. But yeah.
I just bought groceries
and
for
that's what's so concerning because people have such a misconception of the people on the benefits. And it's mainly working families, disabled people, and the working poor.
It's going to be farmers soon.
Yeah. It's going to be everybody soon. They're, and I know here in Pennsylvania, they're not even trying to fund it because they haven't passed the budget here in Pennsylvania either. So we're kind of doubly screwed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to fix this at all. I'm not sure that they even care to fix it. It genuinely feels to me most days like they are absolutely intentionally trying to break down everything about the United States of America, if for no other reason than when it gets to some new sense of normalcy, they can claim they fixed it.
Yes, or it's a game of chicken trying to see who can hold out long enough when people's lives are on the line for it, literally with the heating benefits.
Yeah, it's the billionaires who are going to be able to hold out right up until there's nobody to work for them.
Yeah, and I know that I know that the Democrats, who I know aren't the best, but better than the alternative of the Republicans, holding out in Congress. I'm sure the pressure that they're under to make a deal is probably going to make them buckle, even if they don't want to.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
I was just wondering
genuinely
what
at a
your take
loss
on
with
that was.
regard to all of this. I don't know how any of this can keep happening, and Americans not, I don't know, riot. I don't think they.
Mhm.
I'm just saying I don't understand how that's not actually happening, because this is going to bankrupt people. Health insurance premiums are going to go through the roof. Food costs are rising. The economy is tanking. The jobs reports are terrible when you get to see them, and we can only assume they're worse when they hide them. The facts about science and vaccines are being hidden. You have the least competent, all of these people in charge are dumber than a sack of hammers and out to enrich themselves. Trump is now expecting the Department of Justice to hand over, I think, like $240 million because they dared to investigate him for things that he actually did wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
how many billions is enough before you're going to stop being, oh, I want another 240 million. I want another 240 million. I want somebody to come pay, $250 million for this ballroom. I want to get Jimmy Kimmel off the air. I want to make sure I hold up your deals. I want to make sure that Matt and Trey have good content until they can't do it anymore. I mean, I'm lost.
Yeah.
He's also
I was
up.
just wondering what your take on it was, if you thought it might
I think it's 90
be
million already gotten from
worth holding
lawsuits.
out to.
Jovan froze for me.
Oh, am I still here?
You're back.
Okay, cool. I was saying that Trump has already gotten like 90 million. It's from X, from Meta, from what was the other one? I think Google as well. Like, he's already received massive payouts.
Oh. I'm sorry, Ann. I think we just dropped your call. There's some weirdness going on here.
Oh yeah, they're gone.
Yeah,
Am I still good? Am I still here?
you were stuttering on my end, but I'm not the ultimate arbiter. Arden knows what's going on and who's freezing and who's not.
Yeah, we are having some stuttering coming from Jovan, but it seems to clear it up.
Somebody in chat said Jovan's on the spectrum. Oh, Jovan must have Spectrum. There we go.
Oh no, yeah, I have Spectrum internet, but yes, I'm also on the Spectrum, so both.
Yeah.
But yeah, my Spectrum internet ain't great.
So we got another call waiting, and we're going to get onto that here in just a minute. Just as a reminder, we're going to read all the super chats over $10 as soon as we're done taking all the calls. Still waiting for some genuine theist to call in with something other than apples and bananas. I think.
Why did I get so much more entertainment out of that than you did?
I think I'm desperate to try to find something that makes sense when it doesn't. And I think what he was saying was, that's like you asking me how many apples make a banana, to say that the question you were asking him was essentially absurd. But then he went and said that it was 1.5 apples. And I'm like, first of all, not all apples are the same and not all bananas are the same. So, I mean, it wouldn't count if you were doing calories or sugar content or there's not like what's the right term? The perfect banana and the perfect apple. There's not like an official apple or banana. But I think he was saying that it was absurd. And yet every time we were trying to get to something that would have been beyond God bless you, as if I fucking sneezed, Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm rehashing the call in my head because I couldn't make sense of it before and I can't make sense of it now. And you were just laughing your ass off. And I wish I could have been with you.
Funniest call. I don't know what it was. Every time he said something new, I was giggling. But I think it seemed that I could understand what he was saying a bit more. Like, I guess I like understand the Welsh accent a bit more.
Well, it was really low volume on my end. I couldn't quite hear him, and so it was down here like this, and I can't do it. But and I'm even coming through clear now on my mic, even when I try to talk quietly. So, all right, let's go to Connor in Texas. Is an atheist, pronounce him. Has a strange question, I guess. Hey, Connor, you're on with Jovan and me.
Hey, gentlemen, how are y'all doing?
I don't know. I'm trying to be in a good mood, and we're not getting theists. And now I've got atheists calling to ask me the weirdest questions I've heard. So you're up.
Yes, I appreciate you taking my call. So I was in a dilemma recently when I was arguing like the morality of slavery in the Bible. So I got presented with this, and I'm still new to investigating the Bible, so I did not have what I assumed as a proper answer. So I'm talking reference point would be like Deuteronomy 20, for example.
Sure.
So specifically like 10 through 17. Yeah. And they were saying that, like, okay, well, if you are trying to be the most humane about this and you're commanded to, like, conquer a nation, it's like they were saying, like, well, what do you do with the people? Like, because they were saying that it seems like the only options are kill them or enslave them and integrate them into, like, your society.
Really?
For, like...
Is that what we do in wars now?
I see that as a false dichotomy. Like, I'm like, no, these cannot be the only two options out there. But I could not have a proper response at that time, and so I was just asking for...
Tell me the two options again. Tell me the two options one more time.
Yes, sir. So the two options were, especially when they are coming from the position of justifying God's commands, they said, well, the only two options are to kill everyone or, like, enslave them, especially the part about taking women and children as your plunder. And I was like, I don't see that as very ethical, like, to just put them into slavery.
It seems like there's a really obvious third option in that one, which is don't do either of those things.
Yes, agreed. So yeah, no, I had no proper answer, but saying, like, it's already happened and God has commanded it, and this is what will be done. What could a third or more options be besides killing them or enslaving them? Because they take the position of, like, well, you got to especially kill the male children because of blood vengeance. Like, they'll come back in the future and take revenge. It just seemed very weak to me, but I didn't have a proper answer, unfortunately.
So what do we do in modern warfare? Do we kill them all and enslave them?
No.
Then clearly those aren't the only two options, right?
Exactly.
There you go. But
yeah, so
even if those were the only two options, it doesn't make slavery justified, does it?
No,
I mean,
sir.
you're at war.
That's why false dichotomy right there.
Yeah.
What could I say in response to them that are believing that God is just, God is good for doing this, which obviously not, but of course they will argue to the ends of the earth. But I wanted to just give them an intelligent response that they could think on.
But I don't understand. Like, it just seems like they're just trying to find a reason to justify the slavery. I would just stick, if you were in a debate, I would just stick on the fact that slavery is not justifiable.
Yes.
I mean, do they think everybody in Japan should be our slaves right now?
I hope not.
Well, they bombed Pearl Harbor. We were at war. And if the only options were to enslave them all or kill them all, why are there still Japanese people who are free? Oh, clearly there's another option, which means the Bible or their view of what the Bible's saying is wrong. And also this notion that, I killed all the parents of this younger generation, and yet they're going to rebuild and seek blood vengeance on me. Haven't I, when you do that kind of conquest, don't you take all their shit?
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to rebuild
Yes.
with, and where are they going to rebuild? Aren't they going to be at best scattered to the four corners of the square earth?
Yeah, exactly. So
Meanwhile,
would,
if you beat their parents and all the warriors of their group, I think you should be able to beat them too, right? So maybe, I mean, what's the point of this if it wasn't to teach them a lesson about attacking you? I mean, if you go and you punch somebody and they knock you the fuck out, are you going to go back and punch them again? I don't think so. I wouldn't. Maybe.
oh yeah, no, I really appreciate those points, and also I apologize to the call
All
screener. Yes, because I was not clear. Like I was jumping all over the place trying to explain even how to present this topic, because obviously, like I don't agree with how it was how they acted in the Bible through God's commands, and I wanted to be able to return to them with an intelligent answer to where I'm like, not just bumbling everywhere.
I would ignore the thing about there's only two possibilities. And the first thing to say is, how do you know that God commanded them to go and slaughter people? And number two, why would God command them to go and slaughter people? And number three, if God's in command and sending them to slaughter people, why would they have anything to fear from the people that they let go afterwards?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, no, I have a debate coming up next week. And you have helped, Josh Bowen has helped, helping me get my thoughts in order for this and helping me improve my thought process on this. And Jovan, I don't know when you did this, but I really, really love when you said about that God hardened the Pharaoh's heart. Like, I don't remember when that was, but I was like, that just sent me to the moon. I was like, wow.
It's not my, I mean, it's not, I mean, I'm pretty sure I heard that from Matt, that argument.
Yeah.
There you
But
go.
like,
But I heard it from somebody else too. And you got to go through verse by verse.
Yep.
I mean, there are some verses that say Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and there's other verses that say God hardened Pharaoh's heart. So I always like, because let's be honest, for example, I don't know the Bible as well as a number of the people that I do shows with, including people you've mentioned and Justin and others. But I know more than the average Christian, and I know more than the above average Christian. What's that?
I just think Justin's knowledge on the Bible is next level.
Oh yeah, no. I know nothing in relative comparison to Justin, but the fuck, I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was saying not only do I know more than the average Christian, I know more than the above average Christian. I know more than most early Bible college folks do, although I've forgotten a lot. And I find no reason to keep a lot of it in memory. For example, a friend of mine messaged me about other passages from Deuteronomy about specifically about sexual assault and being forced to marry the individual that you assaulted. And it has to do with women being viewed as property. And it's worth noting that the Bible does not say that she is required to marry him. And by the way, this can be a big back and forth. I think I had this back and forth with Ray Comfort, who was suggesting no father would ever do that. And the problem is that, there probably are fathers that would do that. Her value has been diminished. She's no longer property to be traded. She's now soiled. And even if there weren't fathers that would do it, the point isn't whether or not a father would do it. It's whether or not a God would command it, and why the fucking victim's feelings and thoughts are not only not even considered, but absolutely set aside and violated. The very notion that any moral being could suggest that someone marry their rapist means the God of the Bible is vile and repugnant beyond all measure. Fuck slavery, fuck everything else. That alone would be enough. And their problem is that that's just one example. We could sit
Yes,
here
and,
all day long and open the Bible to random spots and find absolutely the most vile, disgusting things advocated by the Most High. And all I can think is, I don't know what he's high on, but I don't ever want to be high on that.
Yes, and Jesus doesn't really make cases any better, especially when talking about divorce. It's just, I was like, oh, so like, except for unchastity, or he makes
Connor,
the woman the adulteress.
Matt said something. Matt said something that resonates with me really quick, and I just want to throw it out there. When I'm having these debates with people, and they always bring up like, well, God was just, first of all, they bring up this whole ceremonial versus moral law thing, which is nowhere in the Bible. It doesn't exist.
Right.
I don't know why they bring that nonsense up. But then they're like, well, God realized that it was such an institution that he couldn't legislate against it. I'm like, but he could make rules about eating shellfish?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't make any.
And then you're not allowed. It's like they. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, and then the other part that makes no sense. They're always like, it was an institution, but if you think about the story of the Hebrew people critically, it doesn't make any sense that they would have had any slaves. They got freed of slavery, and then they were like, but we're going to bring a couple with us? That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, man. I know.
Here, just for fun, I'm going to read some stuff. We're going to let you roll, Connor, because I got some other calls, but I'm going to read some stuff from the Bible for fun. Thanks for prompting us.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Connor. We got a theist caller, and I'm going to get to it here in just a second, but first I want to do a Bible reading. From Deuteronomy 22, starting at verse 13. These are laws about sexual immorality. If any man takes a wife and goes into her and then hates her and accuses her of misconduct and a bad name upon her, saying, I took this woman, and when I came near her, I did not find evidence of her virginity, then the father of the young woman and her mother shall take and bring forth the evidence of virginity to the elders in the city of the gate. So first of all, virginity is a fictional construct. That's not a real thing. There's no way to prove virginity. But basically they're saying if she doesn't bleed on the wedding night and they can't produce the sheets to show it, then he gets to complain because he didn't really like it. And so then this is about the fathers and them. But then it continues. They shall find him 100 shekels of silver and give them to the father of the young woman, because he's brought a bad name upon a virgin of Israel. Then there's, if a man is found lying with the wife of another man, both of them shall die, the man who lay with the woman and the woman. Really? No matter what? Man, Congress would be empty if we followed laws like that. If there's a betrothed virgin and a man meets her in the city and lies with her, then you shall bring them both out to the gate of that city and you shall stone them to death, because the young woman, because she didn't cry, because she was with for help though she was in the city, and the man because he violated his neighbor's wife. See, if she's engaged, that means she's promised to somebody else, and you find a man lying with her, then you're going to have to put them both to death. But if it happens out in the country, then only the man is put to death. And if she's not betrothed, then he's forced to marry her because he soiled her dad's property. Women are just property in the Bible. They don't have the right to own property in the same way. They aren't considered. There are very few women even mentioned other than so-and-so's wife, so-and-so's daughter, so-and-so's wife. These aren't people. These are props. And that's what the Bible is. But maybe we'll find out differently, because Andrew's calling from Texas. Andrew doesn't have any pronouns at all, and says Christianity and MAGA are good for the U.S. The country is built on Christian standards. Hey, Andrew, how are you?
Hey, I'm glad you started off with that little Deuteronomy thing, where you start off by denying science and start off by denying the existence of a hymen. I mean, come on, Matt.
I'm sorry, I didn't deny science or the existence of a hymen.
Yep. Yeah, you did.
No, sir, I
How
did
do you-
not. What I said, hang on. Here, I'm going to mute you so that we can get this correct. I didn't deny science or the existence of a hymen. What I said was virginity is a nonsensical fictional construct. There's no such thing. You can have sex and never rupture a hymen, and you can rupture a hymen without having sex. That is not a way to determine whether or not someone has had intercourse. And also there's this issue of purity that has nothing to do with actual intercourse. So I did not deny science at all. So you can retract that, and then we can keep going.
Is there a hymen?
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I just acknowledged that hymens exist.
Okay.
So I've answered
when
your
you have
question.
sex-
I've answered your question. Now answer mine. Is it possible for a hymen to be broken even if someone hasn't had intercourse?
True. A hymen can be broken other ways. However,
Is it also possible for someone to have intercourse and not rupture a hymen?
if I wanted to do
I'm sorry.
science-
Is it also possible for someone to have intercourse and not rupture a hymen? I'm sorry. The question is it also possible? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So you're
I'm
denying
sorry.
science.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're going to have to get muted. My next question, which you will have to answer before you get to say anything else, and if you answer it, then you get to keep talking, is it possible to have intercourse and not rupture a hymen? Yes or no?
What? Repeat that. Intercourse. What?
Is it possible to have intercourse and not rupture a hymen?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could have butt stuff. I guess you could do it that way.
Andrew's
You don't know
not
how the-
serious. I'm
Andrew,
going
you
to
don't know
put
how the
Andrew
hymen
on
works.
mute. I'm going to put Andrew on mute. I'm going to give Andrew another chance because I want to make sure that I don't just shut stuff down. And I jumped on this, and I know Jovan wants to have some fun too. So Andrew doesn't understand anything about intercourse or what's possible, or that a hymen can be ruptured absent intercourse, which means the person is still a virgin. And the virginity is a false concept because at some point you have had an orgasm, you've masturbated, you've fantasized. At what point do you become not a virgin? And if your only answer is that you are no longer a virgin after PIV sex that ruptures a hymen, then there are tons of people who have loads of sex and are still virgins, and tons of people who have never had sex and aren't. This is why I say it's a fictional construct, but I will I'm sorry, Jovan, did you have a question for Andrew?
Not a question. I was just going to say that the hymen is not something that typically like one and breaks. It's a membrane that gradually wears down over time, and then will break. It's not usually you do something once and then it's kaputski.
So now that we've established that, Andrew, clearly I have not denied science. So continue.
Am I still muted?
No, that's why I said continue.
All right. So you've changed what intercourse is. What is intercourse? It's the insertion of a penis into a vagina, correct?
I didn't change anything about what intercourse was.
About it, I guess.
I mean, that's what intercourse is. It's the insertion of one into the other. Yes.
If you're vanilla, that's what intercourse is.
I'm doing the scientific term right now. I don't care about your.
There is no scientific. So what do you think the scientific definition of intercourse is? Because intercourse is physical intimacy that involves genitalia, but not necessarily PIV.
But when was that written? That was written what, 3,000 years ago?
What the fuck does that matter?
I'm sorry. So Andrew, listen to me. Listen to me, Andrew. You accused me of denying science. Andrew, you accused me of denying science. You're just going to keep talking over me because you're so bad at this and you're an obvious fraud. I'm going to mute you. We're going to try this again. You've accused me of denying science. I have not denied science. Hymens exist. They are not always ruptured via intercourse, but they can be. and it's possible to have intercourse without rupturing, and it's possible for them to be ruptured without that. All of that is just true. Are you about to say that because this was the only way that they had to prove whether or not someone was a virgin? Because I don't care what methods they have to prove someone is a virgin. Those methods do not prove virginity. And the other question is, why should anyone give a fuck if someone's a virgin? So, Andrew, please tell us why we should care if someone is or isn't a virgin.
I mean, if you were going to get married, would you want something that had 100 penises in it, or one that had none penises in it? That's easy answer for virginity. You can ask any man, any woman. Don't even try to play.
Okay, I'm going to ask a bunch of men. We'll start with me and Jovan. My first wife was not a virgin when we met. Didn't bother me at all. Jovan, when you're engaging with someone, do you care what their body count is?
I could give a shit.
Yeah. So when I ask you, Andrew, why we should care if someone's a virgin, for you to just say, ask any man, okay, here's 2 and you're 1. Now, please tell me why I should care if someone is a virgin.
If you, I already answered why someone is a virgin. Now, for the hymen.
No. I didn't ask you why someone is a virgin. Andrew, you are so bad at listening. It's pathetic. I asked you why I should care. I ask you, why should I care if someone I'm going to have sex with is a virgin?
Because I don't want because some people don't want somebody touching what they're going to keep for the rest of their lives. All right.
Okay. So first of all, Andrew, I'm not. So I'm sorry about your broken patriarchal brain that you think women are going to become your property forever, and you don't want anybody else to have touched your widow property. I'm sorry that you're so afraid of someone with some experience and autonomy. But let me tell you, sex isn't better with a virgin. It's just not. And if you're, but what about diseases? Yeah, that doesn't an issue either. So basically what you're saying is you view women as property and you don't want anybody else to touch your property before you get to, right?
If you're going to talk over me, don't mute me again.
Okay, I'm going to mute you again right now. How did you think that was in your head, Andrew? What did you think was going to happen? What did you think was going to happen when you told me on my fucking show not to mute your dipshit ass? Here we go. Let's unmute you again. Andrew, when I unmute you, please explain to us why you think women are property that other people shouldn't touch if you're going to keep them forever. Go ahead.
Women and men who are going to get married don't want a bunch of stuff in between them. Like,
I'm sorry, but you're just wrong, Andrew. I've been married, didn't care. Tons of people get married, don't care. You're telling me what you think people want, and I don't care what you think people want. I want you to explain why we ought to care if our partner has had sex with other people.
Because she might have diseases and I don't want any.
Cool.
So go get a test, Andrew. Go get tested. Go have her get tested. What is this? This is so dumb. Tests exist. Get a test. Wait, Andrew, answer me this question. Andrew, hold on.
Nobody wants to fuck you anyway, Andrew.
Andrew, if you are dating someone who you find out has a 20-person body count and she's been tested and she's completely clean, what's the issue?
There we go.
Tact, it will still bleed. Am I muted or what? Are you going to let me talk? Like, I'm going to talk.
Yes, I just asked you a question. Talk. Yeah, go ahead.
You were completely muted. Jovan asked you a question.
No, I'm going to answer the 2 questions you already asked me. And then you're going to be quiet.
Jovan's question. Answer Jovan's question.
Broken. However, when you stick your penis in,
you've never stuck your penis in anybody, and nobody would be willing to do that to you. Would you answer Jovan's question, which is, if you're hooking up with somebody and you find out they've got a body count of 20, but they test clean, what difference does it make?
Did you just mute my answer?
I've been muting you nonstop, Andrew. It's fucking hilarious because you're too stupid to be able to answer an honest question. So Jovan asked you if somebody's body count was 20, but they tested clean. I'm sorry, I don't know why you. There's zero chance, Andrew. There is. Let me take a breath. Andrew, there is zero chance that you will ever get to speak over me on my show unless I allow it. None. So why do you keep trying? From the beginning, you falsely accused me of denying science and denying a hymen. Then you showed that you don't understand the basics of intercourse. Then you showed that you view women as property and you don't want anybody to touch your property before you get it. It's like it doesn't have that new car smell for you. Then Jovan and I were talking about potential body count because you wanted us to ask men, and here we are, a couple men telling you, I don't care what somebody's body count is. I don't care if they're a virgin. And by the way, there is no virginity. There's no such thing as virginity. There is no such thing as virginity. It is a manufactured construct that has to do with purity, sexual purity. And you are in here as the machismo demonstration of patriarchal stupidity because you think it's all about disease. And so Jovan graciously decided, yes, you're still muted. Nobody can fucking hear you. You are still muted. I'm going to unmute you in a second so that you can answer Jovan's question. Jovan said, if you had a partner and you found out that their body count was 20, but they tested clear of all disease, what possible objection could you still have? That is the question I'd like you to answer when I unmute you, which I'm doing now.
Baggage. She has lots of baggage if she's been with 100 men.
You've got a lot of baggage, Andrew, and nobody said anything about 100 men. Somebody said 20, but sure, if they've been with 100, let's deal with your baggage, Andrew. Who hurt you?
Bro, what if she has no?
And you want me to treat
Andrew,
you with respect?
Andrew, we need to deal with your baggage right now. Who hurt you? Did somebody cheat on you?
I tried to answer your questions. You kept muting me.
Bro, can you just admit you're insecure, Andrew, please?
You think I'm not aware that I fucking muted you? Who hurt you, Andrew?
It would make this call go so much smoother if you could just admit you're insecure. You don't want to be. There's two things, Andrew. Either you're insecure and you don't want to be with somebody who's got experience, Andrew. Either you are insecure and you don't want to be with somebody who has experience because you don't want to embarrass yourself sexually, or you want to fuck young women. Those are the only two things. So which is it?
The other question is, yes, you can break your hymen. However, if you have intercourse, that will then break it. Whatever's left of the hymen will be partially ruptured. It will then completely rupture when the intercourse happens. And then you will bleed again.
Andrew.
Sometimes.
So that's how we do that.
You are simply factually wrong. I'm sorry that you've never been near enough to a vagina since you clearly like them but don't know anything about them.
Oh,
you should go talk.
Degrees.
I think, Andrew, you should book a meeting with a gynecologist. Seriously, you should go find yourself a gynecologist and book an appointment. Because first of all, you're a big pussy. But second of all, you need to learn about pussy. You need to learn about hymen. You need to learn about intercourse. You need to learn about vaginal intercourse. You need to learn about oral intercourse and anal intercourse. You need to learn about, all of those count as intercourse. You need to learn when and if a hymen can be ruptured and how none of this has anything to do with the concept of purity. And it's also not a biblical concept as well. But you called in, and it says here you called in to say that Christianity and MAGA are good for the U.S. and the country is built on Christian standards. I think Christianity is an abomination, and neither Christianity nor MAGA are good for the U.S. And the country is absolutely not built on Christian standards. This was a country founded on secular principles with a freedom of religion, and the unanimously confirmed Treaty of Tripoli begins by noting that the United States, being in no way founded upon the Christian religion, that was unanimously approved by Congress. So I'd like for you to skip past your concerns about pussy that you're never going to get and explain to us about how this country is, according to you, built on Christian standards. Go ahead.
Is Christianity an abomination? What is it an abomination of?
Morality.
You get morality from Christianity, so where else would you get morality from?
No, I don't get morality from Christianity because Christianity allows for misogyny and slavery and genocide, amongst many other things. But in any case, I asked you a specific question. You're no longer allowed to quiz me at all. I asked you to demonstrate that this country is built on Christian standards.
Oh, well.
What is the first commandment? What is the no? It's not me wanting, no, Andrew, I'm so sorry you're confused. Here, let me help you. It's not me wanting to go that way. I'm going to what you said you wanted to talk about. So tell me, Andrew, what's the first commandment?
Thou shalt not kill.
Wow. Okay. Andrew, you're either a fraud or you're the average Christian that doesn't know fuck all about the commandments. And yet you're going to call in and say the United States is founded on it. The first commandment, you dumb motherfucker, is I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Here, let me unmute you so that you can correct yourself. What's the first commandment, dumbass?
So you've read the tablets.
What's the first commandment, dumbass?
So you've read the tablets?
What's the first
In the original
commandment,
form.
dumbass?
So you've read the commandments in the original
What's the
form.
first commandment, dumbass?
And you know which one came first.
What's the first commandment, dumbass?
Are you going to answer my question?
What's
You've
the
read
first
original
commandment,
tablets.
dumbass? What's
You
the
know-
first
you know
commandment,
which one came
dumbass? What's the first commandment, dumbass? What's the first commandment, dumbass?
You're already the dumbass. You're not science before I even started. So don't
Bro,
even
just
try.
answer the question, Andrew. Oh my God, stop
Andrew,
talking.
I'll make it easy for you. Is the first, Andrew, I'll make it really easy for you. I'll make it really easy for you. Is the first commandment, I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Is that the first commandment?
We're not talking about that, are we? We're talking about, was this...
Okay. You're not
country-
for real, Andrew. You are not for real. You are a lying fraud. I'm not going to hold your lying, fraudulent behavior. I'm not going to hold that up as an example of Christianity. Because if you're in fact a Christian who believes this, you are an incredibly stupid one that doesn't know the truth or the facts about sex or the Bible or anything. And so I think you're a parody call. So I'm jotting down your phone number right now, and I'm going to add it to my list of potentially banned phone numbers from dishonest motherfuckers who call in specifically to make Christians look stupid. I have more respect for most Christians, not all, but most Christians, than to allow you to be used as an example of how dumb they are.
Whew.
Say
Andrew,
goodbye.
you won't take that? You won't take
Andrew?
that, Andrew?
Here we go.
Damn.
Andrew, what's the first commandment?
Am I muted or not?
Me
You're
personally,
not
I wouldn't
muted
take
now.
that.
Okay, why do you keep muting me?
Because you won't
'Cause you
shut
won't
up when
stop
I'm asking you a
talking.
question, and you won't honestly answer a question, and you don't know anything worth listening to, evidently. What's the first commandment, Andrew?
That's not what we're talking about.
It is what we're talking about, because you called in to say Christianity and MAGA are good for the U.S. The country is built on Christian standards. Christian standards should include the commandments, correct?
To say you're a Christian. When you took office, you had to say you're a Christian. When you
Andrew.
took office, you had to say you're a Christian. When you took office, you had
No,
to say
you
you're a Christian. When you
don't.
took office,
No, you fucking don't. You,
What? You're
Jesus.
so stupid, dude.
You can't be this dumb. I do not believe you're this dumb.
When you took office,
The United States is not founded in any way on Christianity. You do not have to profess to be a Christian. You do not have to swear on a Bible.
Matt, I'm going to read directly from Article 11 of the Treaty of Tripoli, which, as you said earlier, and is my favorite example
Yes.
of proving this point wrong. As the government of the United States of America is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion, as it has in itself no character or enmity against the laws, religion, and tranquility of Muslims, and as the said states never entered into any war or act of hostility against any Muhammadan nation, it is declared by the parties that no pretext arising from religious opinion shall ever produce an interruption of the harmony existing between the two countries. This was, Andrew, if you're still listening, 1797, that the founding fathers got together and said, we weren't founded on Christianity. So, Andrew, what's your evidence that we were built on Christian standards?
are you going to mute me or are you going to let me answer?
Well,
We will give
we've
you an
unmuted
uninterrupted,
and we've asked you a question.
how long?
Hey,
10 seconds, 20 seconds? How
don't
long do you want to give them, Matt?
me.
How long do
Hey,
you want to
just
give
tell
them?
me if you're
Uninterrupted 20 seconds.
Stop.
You have an uninterrupted 20 seconds now. Starting now, Andrew, go.
Christianity. You had to have you had to say what your religion was when you took office. Each state had their own religion. Each state had one form or another of Christianity. There were no Buddhists, there were no Muslims, there were no Hindus, there were none of that. So If you want to know, was this actually built on a Christian nation? Yes. The founding nation and its founding faith
Okay, there's
was
20 seconds.
Christianity.
Incorrect.
Get
I'll read
it
the
out of
Treaty of
here.
Tripoli
Let him
again
keep
for you.
going. Let him keep
I'll
going.
read you the. No. I'll read him.
No.
I'll read you Article 11 from the Treaty of Tripoli again, since apparently you didn't hear me. As the government of the United States of America is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion. Do I need to repeat that?
He's muted.
I can repeat that if you'd like me to. You know who signed the Treaty of Tripoli? Matt, who signed the Treaty of Tripoli? What was his name?
The Tripoli. We were beaten pirates.
I'm not remembering. What was the name of the person that signed the Treaty of Tripoli?
It was unanimously confirmed by Congress, but was it Madison?
I don't care.
No, it was Washington. It was sooner than it was earlier than that. Yeah.
Anyway, Andrew, listen to me very carefully. You're either a fraud, in which case we're done wasting time with you, or you are the dumbest person with regard to American history and the law that I've ever had the displeasure of speaking to. I'm sorry, but you're not going to get to talk over me. Here you go. I'm muting you. That's the last utterance you will have on this particular show.
I think it was.
You are cartoonishly wrong about every single thing. The founding fathers and their religions and their views on religion were diverse, including deists, people who were not in any way associated with Christianity, like Benjamin Franklin and others. The country was named, in fact, by Thomas Paine, at best a deist, if not an outright atheist. But the Constitution doesn't care what the founding fathers' religions or religious views were, and you did not have to profess Christianity. A number of states included a requirement that you must believe in God or profess a belief in God in order to hold office, and those have all been ruled unconstitutional because the Constitution prohibits in Article 6 any religious test for any public office or trust. And so you cannot require someone to make a profession of faith or a statement towards a God, any specific God, or even a general God, which is why I'm allowed to be president. I'm allowed to hold public office. And of the two of us, I'm the only one who should. Say goodbye.
Hilarious. I was wrong. It was John Adams. I thought it was. I had it confused. I always Washington started the process. Adams was in office when it finally got signed. Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Article 4, Section 6 instead of Article 6, Section 4. It's all muddled. But at least I can go look at the Constitution and find out that I'm actually right. On that note, we're going to move on to Super Chats before the producer lady comes and beats me over the head. Yeah, it's funny. Jack keeps trying to call back in, and
I know I want to answer it so bad.
That's really funny. Why don't you start while I pull up the page to cue these up?
No problem. From Jared Bear Fuller. Thank you for the $10. Jared said, wait, you mean to tell me that SJW doesn't stand for Super Jehovah's Witness? Anyway, here's $10. Thank you, Jared.
You probably should. $10 from the Atheist Mechanic. I saw a post talking about people elected a failed steak salesman as president and wonder why the country is in such a ruin. Him and his regime need to be removed. Fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, it's wild. Oh, here's one.
Atheist Mechanic also said, Matt, haven't you seen George Soros funded the No Kings protests and paid each protester $500? Latest bit of BS I've seen. If that's true, then where's my goddamn check?
Yeah, I've heard he's filed bankruptcy from all the protests he's been funding.
You guys are getting paid.
$10 from Annull. Two of my fave hosts. Hey, thank you. You're one of our faves too.
From Will Judy? I'm going to assume Judy. Texans early voting is going on now until October 31st. Then election day is November 4th. Next year's primaries in March are going to be crazy, but we, Secular Houston CFE, have answers for you. We do need your help to fix this shit.
Will,
also, if you live in New York, it's almost election day.
Yeah,
Mamdani, guys.
Will, hit me up if you want to talk about promoting Voters Guide, voters information as we head into this election. We'll see what we can do. But thank you so much for the support. And as always, great to hear from you, man. $10 from Jared Jerber Fuller again. Next week is National Constipation Awareness Week. Really? No shit. Oh man.
From Based Airlines, such a good name. Any thoughts on Vosh, atheist as leftist streamer? I don't mess with white people that say the N-word, so I don't care about Vosh.
I've done one show with Vosh back when Jimmy and I were, when I first started over here at the line for something. It's almost my only interaction with him. I've had good interactions and seen good things from him, and I've seen absolutely terrible takes from him and from somebody else. So there's somebody that seems like a bot that keeps coming onto my YouTube, and they have like a name that's like Vosh supporter or something, and they're like, greetings from Planet Peterson and Vosh, and I'm like, or love from Planet Peterson and Vosh, and I'm like, no thanks, I'm good.
They comment on my stuff all the time. It's always like greetings from a something and Vosh supporter. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and the name is like Vosh. It might as well just say Vosh Semper or something like that. But I'm like, I'm good. I don't need love from fans of either of them. $10 from Joshua Everett for Jovan being all of our faces right now. I know exactly when that was because chat was blowing up about it. And you were muted, and I couldn't see it because I had a screen up.
I like to go on face journeys. Fuzzy Logic said, if I'm not mistaken, the press corps works in the East Wing. Coincidence? Well, Fuzzy Logic, it wouldn't matter because they can't report on half the shit from the White House anymore anyway.
That's right.
Do you see the official list? The official list of approved press for the Pentagon is now only like OAN. Tim Pool, the Daily Wire, like all the major actual news networks are not allowed anymore. Crazy. I love this country.
It was, I think it was OAN that even shot that down, and only one other one, I don't know. Can you imagine if everybody had to go get all their news from this right-wing government approved? Oh, wait, no, that's already happening. I don't have to imagine. But I am going to imagine that I'm on my deathbed and my relatives are coming to get me. Because $10 from God Center says, every time Jack calls, it's so hard to hear him, but I always get a good laugh. I know it's rude to make fun of accents, but damn, my sides are hurting so damn hard. He is a rude, strange little man. I don't know how rude he is. He certainly thinks I'm rude. And you know what?
It's also...
I can be.
It's okay to make fun of white-centric accents. Eastern, like European accents, those are still fair game.
I got no issue. It's like my family, I'm pretty fucking white. Like when we did the 23andMe DNA thing, it was a duel between me and my ex-wife as to which one of us was more white. And so I know the Dillahunties escaped, were religious Huguenots escaping persecution, and they went to Ireland. They went to Ireland first, and Ireland wouldn't have none of that shite. And so then they left and they came to the United States, where one of my ancestors formed one of the first churches that became one of the first 3 churches in the Southern Baptist Convention. And so I'm going to keep making up for that for the rest of my life. Sorry.
From Jessica, the most unique doo-doo big butt face, fuck yourself, said Jack is the reason why the rest of us from the UK make fun of the Welsh. He is a prime reason why we say Welsh fuck sheep for fun. Jesus Christ. A very unique call, guys. By the way, only one apple makes a monad.
Oh, I've watched a lot of British TV growing up. My apologies for all the bad accents and everything else, but it's really fun because you have England, Scotland, and Wales, and a ton of different accents. Most people just say, "Oh, it's one." No, there's tons of different accents, and I love the fact that they just sit around making fun of each other. Like you can't pronounce half the place names without half a gallon of phlegm in your throat, type of stuff. And anyway, thank you, Jessica. $10 from the Atheist Mechanic again. Trump wants over $200 million from the Justice Department. One want in one hand and shit in the other. Tell me which one fills up. The thing is, who decides whether the Department of Justice settles this?
Pam Bondi.
And isn't he in charge? This is the problem
She
when
is,
there's
yes.
no checks and balances. This motherfucker is enriching himself while our farmers go bankrupt. He is preparing behold, I go to prepare a place for all of us Nazis in Argentina again.
By the way, the most the U.S. Department of Justice has ever paid out on one thing has been like 1.9 million. That's the most they've ever paid out. He wants 230 or 240.
I think it's
Unbelievable.
40, but whatever.
And he's
He wants
claimed
$1 billion.
go to something. He's like, I'm going to do something good for the country with it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he's going to pay for the ballroom. Oh,
This is me.
go
I don't
for it.
remember. $10 from Jack. I like apples and bananas. I also like to eat apples and bananas.
I used to like apples more. Now I don't know. I think peaches are still my
hate
favorite.
bananas. I actually think bananas are disgusting.
Ooh. $10 from Misha A. Hey, Jovan, what is a collective noun for apples?
Oh, that's a good one. At apples together would be a bunch, a bushel. What was the one? I don't remember the one that I disagreed with Jimmy on. Me and Jimmy had like a 15-minute long apple debate.
All right. $10 from Fry Jemmy. Matt, is there a biblical quote referring to the moment that you first draw breath as being the first moment you're alive? Does this affect the abortion argument for theists? Yes and no. So, interestingly, beginning even in Genesis, the breath of life begins as the theme and showing that that's the first breath. Similarly, because of that, and in part because the infant mortality rate was so high, when Jews would do a census, they didn't count kids under, I don't know, a month or 2 months. I forget what the actual thing was. And so the notion was that you became alive when you drew your first breath. But there's a passage in, is it, it's before you formed me in the womb.
I knew you. Yeah, it's like I knew you before you were formed.
Is it Jeremiah?
I don't remember where it is, but I know they always revert back to that.
It's Jeremiah 1:5. And that doesn't suggest that you were alive prior to that. That actually goes to this notion that perhaps God knew who you would be, or that you were a soul that God knew that he then put into the body at the first breath. But the thing is, there is no one simple, single answer to this. And since the Bible gives instructions for how to create an abortifacient in order to induce an abortion, if in fact you suspect that your partner has been cheating on you, oh, I'm sorry, not partner, slave, woman slave, I guess that's what they were. It's very difficult to make any case that the Bible is opposed to abortion in any way, especially when it says things like, if men struggle and a woman intervenes and she's hurt in the process of this such that it leads to a miscarriage, the penalty for that is different than it is for murder.
But also, like, because when you think about it, for me, the minute the abortion debate hits on some form of theism, like if the minute they revert back to God, the debate is just over. Because like in order for them to now prove their side, they have to prove God exists, which is just like, that's such an uphill battle. Like, I'm just like, what's the point at that point?
All right. Oops, I missed this. Sorry for the extra loud clicky. I've adjusted my volume.
All good. God Sinner, thank you for the $10, said, I remember a brief moment of stupidity when I was young. I remember hearing Sargon of whatever argue it was better to enslave because they used to just end them. Mad, it took my brain a day to go, what the fuck? True?
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild.
Me personally, kill me before you make me a slave. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have to. And by the way, the Bible, the closest thing it does is when Paul asks for the freedom of a slave that is a friend of his, and then it gives instructions that that slaves should obey their masters, and that's bad advice. It says especially the cruel ones, or even the cruel ones. The only advice you should ever give a slave is do everything in your power to free yourself and everyone else who is a slave. There is no moral justification for saying, hey, I know you're a slave, suck it up. $10 from the Atheist Mechanic. Andrew views women as property. Disgusting. Andrew's just.
I'm gonna have a disagreement with Matt on that. I think most of the time it's not even that they view women as property. It's that they want to fuck children. They want virgins because virgins are typically going to be younger, and they want to have sex with as young a woman as they can because they want to groom them.
I suspect that you might be more right than I would normally be willing to admit, especially since every single day I see another account of a MAGA conservative preacher being arrested for child sex solicitation and abuse. It's getting crazy. They're not the only ones. There are people in all political spectrums who are just absolutely awful like this. I mean, take Epstein, for example, release the Epstein files. Let's not pretend that Epstein was some man of God. Let's not be ridiculous like that, especially since I shared a stage with someone who Epstein called friend, who may well be in the Epstein files for all I know. I don't know. But while the right and the religious don't have the market cornered on immorality or abuse of women or kids or anybody, they sure seem destined to try to make it a monopoly.
Alex S said, LOL, if you're going to talk over me, don't mute me again. Andrew, 2025, mute. Thank you for the $10, Alex.
I don't have to mute you when I talk over you, but it amuses me. Just like somebody in chat was like, there's no reason for the dumbass. And I assume that they meant for calling him dumbass. And I'm like, yeah, there is a reason. It amuses me. And therefore I will do it. If you think that there was something, that it was a terrible faux pas for me to take that fake caller for a walk around the park and call him a dumbass when he doesn't know about the Constitution or a fucking hymen, yeah, okay. Cry to somebody else.
A terrible faux pas. I love that.
$10 from Space Barbarian. Andrews are the reasons I prefer to say I'm male to I'm a man. The only body count that matters is I give up. Guess the next word. These filters suck. Sorry the filters suck, but thank you so much for the contribution. I don't like saying I'm male. They've kind of turned male into something. I don't think and male and man both have problematic stuff, and I'd rather fix it than avoid one of the words. There.
John Kennel said, I wonder if slavery apologists ever picture themselves as slaves. No, because they're usually white.
Yeah. It's just like nobody pictures them to be the next victim of the face-eating leopards. 10 pounds from the fuzzy logic. I'm sending another 20 to the SSA on Andrew's behalf. Congrats. Also, as a straight man, I want my partners to have as much experience as possible. The activities are much hotter that way. It certainly can be. But in any case, the concern from a biblical standpoint was never sexual purity or disease. It was all about property and making sure this was my property. It was transferred with a chain of ownership from the father who does the giving away to the new owner who paid a bride price for that bouquet. That's what it was about. If you think that ancient Hebrews were worried about STDs, you got another thing coming.
Buddha. From Mr. Boricua 10, Andrew of Texas, you creepy, disgusting, sleazy, insecure, sexist, misogynist, willfully ignorant, uncaring, backwards thinking, whining, black, pill, brain, rotted, bigot. Learn to be better. Yo, Mr. Boricua 10 popped off with that. Popped off with that.
Nobody should ever sleep with Andrew. And that includes dudes. Like,
well, now hold on.
If Andrew goes down his incel route and says, hey, I've decided I just don't know enough about the hymen, and now I just want to hook up with dudes, no dude should have sex with him either. You deserve no pleasure. $10 from the atheist mechanic. The only good thing Trump could do is take his regime with him and leave this country. Maybe to Argentina. Maybe that's why he's enriching it. He should have built the ballroom there.
Imagine.
Ballroom is the extra seam they put into my trousers.
The sound effect from Bibble Bunk said this was Andrew's first day out from under the rock.
It really was. This is a Christian country, and you used to have to swear an oath to God, and you had to say what your religion was, and you're going to bust a hymen every time with a dick as big as mine. It's so fucking hilarious. I don't even know how these people find this show. $10 from One-Eyed Heathen. I have it on Good Word. ECE is showing in San Francisco and Oakland. Stay safe out there. What?
I think they meant ice.
But even ICE is showing. I'm sorry, One-Eyed Heathen, but you owe me another $10 super chat to explain what this is, because I missed it. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want me to understand, I'm confused. And if it is just about ICE, cool. Thanks for the warnings.
From Totally Not a Demon said, I have relatives who remind me of people like Jack. It's hard to change minds like his, but it's important to my sanity knowing I'm not the only one who deals with that. Matt/Jovan, y'all rock. Thank you so much for the $10. Totally Not a Demon.
Thank you. $10 Canadian, alleged money from Untitled Final Version V2 this version. How has nobody compared virginity to the heliopause? Oh, come on now. Yeah. How many people even heard of heliopause? Everybody hears about virginity. I mean,
some of us more than others.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm gonna give Jovan the next to last word, because I'll still close this out, but I've got a bunch of stuff going on. I got a bunch of stuff going on. I always love it when I get to have Jovan on. We don't get to do enough shows together and everything else. I really love what the line's doing, and the new folks that are coming here that are participating more and more, and how we're doing more charity work. We're drawing in people as other shows flounder and fail. We're sitting here trying to do this. Even if we do an entire show and don't get a single sincere believer because they've all given up and know that they have nothing to offer, I still think there's an opportunity. And so there's at least one opportunity that I know of, because Jovan debates people on the internet like on the daily. So let them know where to go watch you.
Yeah, you can come to my YouTube channel, Jovan Bradley. I'm live pretty much every morning at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Depends on how I feel when I wake up. I be taking calls, but I'm a bit more. If y'all think Matt can get a little mean, I'm mean. So don't come over to me with the sanctimonious, the whole we should come together. Nah, I'm gonna insult you. I'm gonna insult conservatives. I'm gonna insult conservatives' kids. But yeah, come follow me. Come join me. I am doing a holiday toy drive. So if you go to the link tree in my bio on YouTube or wherever you are, we've already got like 4 bins filled with toys. But the more toys, the more kids we can help. So if you'd like to support that, find that Amazon wish list in my link tree on all my platforms.
One-Eyed Heathen also sent another $10 super chat clarifying that they were talking about ice.
There it is. You want to put it up, or I did a send, but my mistake was talking about eye, still recovering from eye surgery, actually. So yeah, it could have been eye is on the rise out there, not just ice. But thank you so much, and I appreciate Jimmy does this shit all the time, and I'm like, I'm no good at that. I'm not the kind of person that says, hey, you need to give us another $10. Maybe I should. Like, for example, it's $8.25. Nah, I'll let you guys off the hook because we just raised a bunch of money for the Psycho Student Alliance, and we greatly appreciate everybody who participated, contributed to that. I was overwhelmed at the amazing support, considering that it went right alongside the No Kings protests and plenty of other things. And there were a number of people who just couldn't make it. So that, I think you're still allowed to donate to that separately from this. But thank you so much for participating tonight. Thank you, Jovan, for being here. Thank you to Arden for producing, to our call screeners and our moderators and everybody in chat. There's a list of patron producers there. You can go to patreon.com/callthelion and add your support there, and like and subscribe on YouTube. But if we ever get shut down on YouTube, Patreon is the place where we're going to probably be announcing how we end up having to do this next, because we're all going to be labeled violent domestic terrorists merely for standing up for human rights, equality, freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion, because nobody protects freedom of religion better than the people trying to evidently demolish it. Thanks. See you next time.